Okay, so in the end of day report, I think it's really important that this encompasses everything for me. So it is your journaling, it's your brainstorming, it's your reviewing what you've done, checking out what your energy levels are like, and it just helps you really keep track on everything. And it's a great exercise to do. Last 15 minutes of your day, so whatever time. And we're going to plan your calendar out in a bit. Whatever time we choose to end the day, we put 15 minutes before to fill this document in. Fill it in every day. I tend to have one document, and then I kind of fill it in, and then I'll cut and paste the answers into my Google Calendar event. And then I can always look back if I ever need to see, how I was feeling that day, what I was thinking, if I brain dumped anything, etc. I take the brain dump one step further and I put it into Asana, which I'll show you as well. But end of day report, so brain dump, just get everything out your head, personal and business related, any to-dos that you've got, any errands that you need to run, any business ideas that you've got, whatever it might be, just get it out your head, because if you don't and you keep it bottled up, there's a good chance you're going to come back into your Mac or your PC, open your phone, whatever, and you're going to start trying to do stuff once the day's over. What we want to try and get in the habit of doing is finishing the day and then being present with our family and kids, etc. Because and I've been there as well, where you just you kind of get away from your mobile phone. Things are bubbling on your mind. You want to get things finished. You're a bit restless, and you just kind of seem to put it together on an evening for when you need to turn up for your family. So it's really important that we switch off. I schedule the tasks in Asana, so I will just show you quickly here. So we use Asana for many things in our business, but I think it's a great tool for just communicating and setting tasks. We all have boards each. So in my board here, I will have my brainstorming section. So I'll just dump stuff into here in my brainstorming section. And and then that's that done, and then it's there recorded, and I know that I'm never going to forget to not go back to it. And I think part of my success has 100% been how organized I am and being able to not forget stuff. Sometimes we come up with these great ideas and then we don't write it down anywhere, or we put on a bit of paper, the bit of paper gets lost in our drawer or on our desks or whatever it might be. I'm totally paperless these days. Everything is either in a notes within my Mac or phone, or most of it goes into Asana, if not everything, because then I can actually delegate it to a team member quite easily, or I can actually then, build out the task or the project quite easily in Asana. So a great tool. Asana's free as well to use for most of the things. It's not until you really want to start creating, funky automations and using a bit more functionality that you need to pay for it. But for what you need to solve this problem, it's free. So, get it downloaded and start using it. I like to rate myself on a scale of 1 to 10. So, did I control my calendar, an activity? Having this sort of successful have it all lifestyle is about control. So we need to make sure that we control the weeks and the weeks don't control us. So I want to know, have I controlled my activity today? Scale of 1 to 10. I did what I said I was going to do. So I set everything out the night before. I make sure that it's in my diary, and then, I execute on that the next day. So did I do what I said I was going to do? Did I honor my promises to myself, i.e., have I been to the gym? If I had gym scheduled, which I would have done because I have it every day, but you don't have to have it every day. Did I eat healthily? Whatever that might be, whatever your promises are to yourself, just an all around, have you done what you said you were going to do, basically? Have you nailed your morning formula? Like, this whole program is about nailing your morning formula. So, if you hit the snooze button, you've not nailed it. If you, got lost up and you got sucked into your email inbox, you haven't nailed it. So just, have you nailed your morning formula on a scale of 1 to 10? I operate at the peak of my abilities and I'm satisfied with my performance, fairly straightforward. And, I remember to serve people a day. In business, and if you want to be a high achiever, you have to come from a mindset of serving people, adding value to other people's lives. When you add value to people, the value comes back to you. I don't want to go in, this is more for the game plan program, but just a quick snapshot that I see it time and time again in Facebook, where people just drop stuff in and they add absolutely no value to groups. They're just pitching, and they're expecting people to react and engage. That just doesn't work. By just adding value to people, when they're good and ready, they will engage with you. And the more value you add out there, the more that people engage with you. It's a two-way system. So for me, I always want to make sure I've served people today. Now, this might not just always be potential clients or clients that I've got. This could be my team, my the people that I work with. It could be, friends and family, whatever it might be, rated on a scale of 1 to 10. I always like to know where I'm at with numbers. We've been through the KPI tracker. I have financial KPI trackers, a lot more detailed, and I'm always looking. Am I on pace with my revenue goals from the week? FYI, all my team members fill these reports in and they send them to me at the end of the day, so I can see what's going on in all the departments of all the businesses. So, this gives me a good snapshot of not only what I'm doing, but what my team's doing as well. So, am I on pace to hit my revenue goals for the month, and am I on pace for the quarter? If the answer to these are no, then we want to be deep diving either with ourselves or with the various departments that, you're getting the reports back from. Overall, how do you feel? This is a bit of journaling going on here. So just, getting your journaling out. We've discussed in the Morning Secrets program how important it is to journal and the health benefits and mind benefits, etc. So this is part of my journaling. So overall, how do I feel? I'll just write a couple of paragraphs. What am I grateful for today? Again, this comes back to the Morning Secrets, so we're kind of tying it all into one program here. Make sure that we're grateful for today. And that this could it makes you feel good when you get this stuff out. And that's what this is all about, is just boosting that mood and make sure we're on track. Now, touch base on perceived energy levels in the KPI tracker. So, no energy burnt out, low energy, okay energy, full tank, clean energy. Be honest with yourself here. And this could be, I quite often, if I see myself dropping down, 5, 4, 3, 2, I might then look and say, am I, pushing it a bit hard? Am I going to the gym a bit too much? Am I working too many hours? Similarly, when I get up to this level, I might be like, am I not doing enough? Do I need to push myself a bit harder? Or am I, I like to sit around here. This is kind of where my optimum is, because I feel like I've got a balance there. So be honest with yourself. And when you spot the patterns on your KPI tracker, if it's dipping or if it's going, too high up, whatever it might be, you react. And that's what this is all about, and this is why we tie it in with the numbers. What did I get better at today? Again, just giving yourself a bit of a pat on the back. Where did you fall short? Again, just making yourself aware, getting it on paper where you fell short so that you react and you change that going forward. What tasks did I do today that were non-CEO related and I need to delete, delegate, or automate? This, again, I put in here. So I put into my non-CEO tasks that I did that day. These lists used to be huge. Obviously, what I then do with those tasks is I get them off my plate. So I'll either assign that task to a member of staff, or I will, if there's a list that gets too big, I'll employ somebody to take over all those tasks, And this is how you start to get time back for yourself, but your business continues to move forward. Because the non-CEO tasks are probably tasks that you don't really enjoy doing, and therefore you will more than likely put them off as much as you can, and therefore your business doesn't actually move forward, because sometimes they are tasks that need doing. So it's easier to get somebody in, invest in somebody to take ownership of them, and let them have it as a job role, and then they'll ultimately move your business forward, and you don't get stressed about it, you don't not do them, etc. If you don't own your own business and you're employed working for someone, you're a high achiever, then, just think about the tasks that you that don't serve you in your business, that you don't really generate money, put you in a better situation, and just have a think about it. I know when I worked in Dubai, I had cold calling was a task that we had to do to book our appointments. I didn't see that as a benefit to me. My appointments were what benefited my bank balance, so I wanted to get on more appointments. So what I did was I hired somebody to make calls for me. So they ran calls for me, I paid them commission, and I just constantly lived in the appointment sector. So not only did I do it because I didn't want to do it, but also because I felt like if they're constantly on the phone when I'm out attending, these 2-hour long appointments, then I'm constantly moving forward. So it was investing in somebody else to actually move my business forward. So always be thinking, how can you save yourself time and how can you make things move quicker? Morning intentions. So this is kind of where we start planning out the next day, and we're going to bring this onto our calendar soon. I'm going to show you how we put it all together. So at the end of each day, we want to be planning the next morning. This is what is critical to getting up at 5 a.m. or whatever time you decide to get up and nailing your morning routine, So I decide on my important but not urgent task and my number one priority work for the morning. So I fill these questions in here, and these kind of give me a bit of an idea of what's needed. So where is the bottleneck in the value chain? So my value chain is, I kind of have it split into brand awareness, lead generation, sales, in terms of sales prospecting, sales closing, and then operations in terms of delivery of the product, and then maintenance of the product. So depending on what business it is, they all sit within those 6 departments, and I will assign each department a value of 1 to 5. So 5 is it's working really well, and 1 is it's working poorly. And then from that, I will decide, where is the bottleneck in the value chain. So out of all 6, where's the lowest score? Okay, what needs fixing? And that could potentially form my number one priority work for the morning. Not always, but it just gives me a bit of flavor of what I should be working on. So what are the 3 tasks that I'm focused on completing tomorrow? This could stem from the brain dump, if we don't get something finished, or it could just be 3, things that you want to move your business forward with, you've had it on your mind for some time. What am I committed to doing to raise or maintain the energy levels? So if I feel like I've been hitting the gym too much or I've been working too much, I might say tomorrow I'm going to have just a total day off. I'm going to go get a massage, or I'm going to go, spend, some great family time, or whatever it might be. Drive down to the beach and, go for a walk with a friend, whatever. So you get to decide that, but by understanding where you're at and making sure that you're constantly protecting yourself, you're aware of it, and therefore you end up performing at a higher level. What you're looking forward to tomorrow? I think it's always good to get yourself excited about something, can't wait to, build a new funnel out with the marketing team and, put it all together, or I can't wait to go and shoot some videos, because I know that it's going to lead to X, Y, Z, or, I can't wait to, take the kids to football, whatever it might be, just make sure. For me, this question is what gets you out of bed on the morning. Because you're reminding yourself, and before you go to sleep, you kind of remind yourself again of what you're looking forward to doing tomorrow, and it excites you to get out of bed. So if you're going to, get involved in the early morning clubs, 4 a.m.s, 5 a.m.s, that sort of stuff, you do need a bit of a trigger to get you out of bed. And I find that, thinking about something that you're looking forward to helps me jump out without sort of any hesitation. So from all of this, by now you should know, what is in important tasks, but not urgent, from, the Morning Success Program, and you should know exactly how to figure that out. If you haven't, go back and watch the video. But what will that be for you tomorrow? What work are you going to do tomorrow that relates to this? And, just give it some clear detail, and then just give yourself 2 or 3 bullet points of, maybe how you're going to go about it. So if it is, say, for example, writing some sales copy, then you might maybe just write out here 3 topics that you're going to write about, so it just gives you a bit of a prompt so you can go straight into it in the morning without having to then think about it and waste time, because, we're trying to be as efficient as we can with our time and make sure that our focused activity is 100% focused with no time wasted, and ultimately that gives us more time freedom back on the back end. Number one priority work, again, this was discussed in the Morning Secrets program, so go back and watch those videos if you don't fully understand what this is, and then again list out 1 or 2 things that are going to make that happen, or the ideas around that, to just so you go straight into it. Finally, why is this all important? I think it's always a good reason, and quite often I write the same thing down here every day, but I think it's good to remind ourselves about why. Why are we doing this? Why do we want to get out of bed? Why is it going to make a difference? And this drives us each day and produces the results, no doubt. So that's how you fill in your end of day report. it takes 15 minutes or so, and as I said, just get it completed. It really sort of knocks your day off, finishes it well, and then you can close off and you go. Now, this can be at any time of day. We'll come to that in a bit of how you schedule it. Just make sure you do it is the number one thing for me. Don't miss a day. Make sure that you do it. And you'll see a huge difference in your performance by filling this in, and you'll also see a huge difference in your self-care and your mental state, and just how you generally feel. You'll definitely feel a lot more upbeat by doing this.